It's not every day that life gives you a wake-up call. Sometimes in the quiet moments of night, in the silence that surrounds us as we lay our heads down to rest, there's an urgent whisper from our body. I remember the story of a 71-year-old man who died in his sleep, a somber reminder that the habits we form at night can be as important as those we cultivate during the day. When we reach our golden years, our bodies become a little more fragile, a little more unpredictable, and every little decision we make can have far-reaching effects on our health. Tonight, I want to share with you the wisdom I've gathered over many years, focusing on 4 bedtime habits you must avoid after 70, because sometimes it's the things we do without a second thought that are the very ones that can take the wind out of our sails. I know many of you have lived long, full lives, and yet we all face the same quiet questions at night. How do I sleep soundly? Am I taking care of myself? And if not, what can I change? In these 2 paragraphs, I want to reach out to your heart and remind you that our habits, even those as routine as our bedtime rituals, can profoundly influence how we enjoy our later years. This isn't just a list of do's and don'ts. It's an invitation to reflect on your well-being and perhaps adopt new practices that respect the wisdom your body has earned over time. Before we get further, I'd like to know where you're joining us from, and if you get any value from these videos, a like and subscribe would mean a lot. As we dive into tonight's topic, the bedtime habits to avoid after 70, I want you to feel like we're sitting down together, chatting over a warm cup of tea, sharing stories and advice just like old friends do. We're all on this journey together, learning from each other and cherishing the little moments that add up to a life well lived. Now let's talk about those bedtime habits. In my many years, I've seen how seemingly innocent routines can lead us astray, gradually eroding the very sleep we need to face each day. Let me share with you the first habit: staying up too late with screens in hand. I recall a time when my own eyes betrayed me after too many evenings glued to the television or my phone, the blue light from the screen tricking my mind into thinking it was still day. This habit, common among many of us in the digital age, may seem harmless, but it disturbs our natural sleep cycle and can lead to health complications down the road. The second habit I want to discuss is having a heavy meal right before bed. Now, I'm not one to say you should never enjoy a good meal, but when you eat a big dinner too close to bedtime, your body is busy digesting, not resting. I remember nights when I'd lie awake, stomach churning and heart racing, wondering why I couldn't drift off into peaceful slumber. Over the years, I learned that timing matters. Eating earlier and allowing your body to process food can lead to more restorative sleep and a happier morning. Next up is the third habit: neglecting your bedtime routine. It might sound trivial, but having a consistent routine is like giving your body a gentle signal that it's time to wind down. In my younger days, I was always in a rush, never taking the time to slow down at night. Over time, I found that a quiet period before sleep, whether it be reading a book, listening to soft music, or simply sitting in silence, made all the difference. It's a simple way to let go of the day's worries and prepare your mind for a deep and restful sleep. The fourth and final habit I need to warn you about is ignoring your sleep environment. A cluttered room, uncomfortable bedding, or an inappropriate room temperature can all disrupt your sleep. I once had a dear friend who always complained about waking up with aches and pains, not realizing that a poor mattress and a cold room were the culprits behind his restless night. By paying attention to the little details in your bedroom, you can create a haven of calm and relaxation, a safe space that encourages you to close your eyes and surrender to sleep. Each of these habits may seem minor on its own, but together they can have a significant impact on your overall health and longevity. I speak from experience when I say that the nights are a time to honor your body, to give it the respect and care it has earned over the decade. It's in the quiet darkness, as we drift in and out of dreams, that our bodies mend and rejuvenate. I want you to understand that the choices you make before you sleep are just as important as the ones you make during the day. Let me share a personal story. A few years back, after I retired, I fell into a routine of watching television until I dozed off. I didn't think much of it, it was simply the habit of the moment. But then I started experiencing troubling symptoms. Restless nights, a foggy mind in the morning, and a constant sense of fatigue. It wasn't until a dear friend of mine, who had also weathered many years, sat me down and talked about these bedtime habits that I realized I had to change. I gradually replaced my screen time with reading, allowed dinner to be lighter and earlier, and began setting a regular bedtime routine. The difference was remarkable. I began to feel more alert, my mood improved, and I slept more soundly. This transformation wasn't dramatic overnight, but over time, it reintroduced me to the beauty of restful nights and the promise of each new day. I've seen too many people dismiss these changes as trivial, simply because they're small adjustments in an otherwise busy life. But I've learned, and I now share with you, that small changes can lead to significant improvements in quality of life. When you're over 70, every moment counts. It isn't just about adding years to your life, but about adding life to your years. And that, my friends, starts with how you treat your body, especially during the hours of sleep. Let's delve a little deeper into the reasons behind these bedtime habits. When you expose yourself to screens before bed, the blue light interferes with the production of melatonin, the hormone that signals to your body that it's time to sleep. Without melatonin, your body's internal clock gets thrown off, making it hard to fall asleep and even harder to stay asleep. I've read studies in my time, and though I may not be a scientist, I trust the wisdom of research combined with life's own lessons. Your eyes deserve a break, and your mind needs a respite from the constant barrage of information and stimulation that modern technology provide. And what about eating heavy meals before bed? Your digestive system doesn't shut off just because the sun set. When you eat too late, your body is forced to work overtime, digesting a meal that should have been enjoyed earlier in the day. I've had nights where my stomach rumbled and my heart pounded, not from fear or anxiety, but from the simple act of eating too late. I learned that a lighter meal in the evening, perhaps a small salad or a modest serving of soup, not only promotes better sleep, but also contributes to overall well-being. You're giving your body the chance to focus on repair and rejuvenation rather than on processing a heavy meal. Now, about that routine, consistency is key. When you go to bed at the same time each night and follow a predictable sequence of events, you're essentially training your body to recognize that it's time to wind down. It's a comforting pattern, a gentle ritual that says, "Rest now, it's safe." This habit might seem simple, but its effects are profound. I recall days when a random, unstructured night left me tossing and turning, unable to settle my mind. Then there were those nights when a well-established routine allowed me to slip into sleep like a whisper. The difference was night and day, and it's a practice I encourage you to adopt. Your sleep environment, too, plays an indispensable role in how well you sleep. Think of your bedroom as a sanctuary, a place where you leave behind the burdens of the day. A comfortable mattress, clean and soft bedding, and an environment free of clutter or excessive noise can transform your night's rest. I remember fixing a friend's bedroom once, simply rearranging a few things, investing in a good quality mattress, and even adjusting the room's temperature made a world of difference. These changes are small, inexpensive, and yet they pay dividends in the quality of your sleep. Let me take a moment to emphasize how crucial these habits are. We often neglect sleep, considering it secondary to our daily responsibilities. But as someone who has seen many years come and go, I can tell you that sleep is the foundation upon which our days are built. Without proper rest, our minds cloud over, our bodies weaken, and our spirits diminish. Each of these habits, avoiding screens, having a lighter dinner, establishing a routine, and creating a serene sleep environment, is a step towards safeguarding the quality of your sleep, and ultimately, the quality of your life. I've also observed that our mindset around sleep plays a big part. If you go to bed with anxiety or a heavy heart, you're setting yourself up for a night of restless tossing and turning. Conversely, if you approach sleep with gratitude for the day that has passed and hope for the day ahead, you're more likely to embrace the rest you so desperately need. In my long life, I've learned that a peaceful mind is a precursor to a peaceful sleep. Try to leave your worries at the door, knowing that tomorrow is another chance to set things right. It isn't always easy, but it's a habit worth cultivating. There's also the aspect of physical comfort, something that becomes increasingly important as we age. Gentle stretching, a warm shower, or even a cup of herbal tea can prepare your body for the night ahead. I remember a time when I'd neglect these small comforts, only to pay the price with a stiff back and sore muscles in the morning. Today, I make it a point to incorporate these simple routines into my nightly ritual. It's not about extravagant measures. It's about treating yourself with kindness and care, respecting the vessel that has carried you through so many years. I know some of you might be skeptical, thinking that these changes are too small to make a difference. But believe me when I say that the cumulative effect of these little adjustments can be remarkable. It's like tending a garden. Small, consistent acts of care lead to a flourishing landscape over time. As you age, every moment of care counts. These bedtime habits are not just about avoiding a potential tragedy, but about enhancing the quality of every day you're given. They're about waking up refreshed, with a mind clear enough to enjoy the beauty of another sunrise. Let's revisit the story of the man who died in his sleep. While we can't say for sure what the precise cause was, his passing serves as a cautionary tale. It's a reminder that even the smallest habits, if left unchecked, can contribute to a decline in health. I don't mention this to cast fear upon you, but rather to illuminate the importance of each choice you make. Sometimes, the habits we form without much thought can become the very habits that determine our quality of life in the twilight years. By paying attention to these practices now, you're taking a proactive step to honor the many years you've lived and the many more you hope to enjoy. Now, let's talk a bit about how to implement these changes if you find that your current habits might be steering you in the wrong direction. Start with small adjustments. If you're used to watching television until you fall asleep, try setting a timer to turn it off or switching to a relaxing audiobook instead. If you tend to have a heavy dinner, consider lighter fare or simply eating earlier. It might take some time for your body to adjust, and that's perfectly fine. Remember, every step counts. Next, consider establishing a pre-bedtime routine. It doesn't have to be elaborate. A consistent series of actions that signal to your brain that it's time to unwind can be very effective. Maybe it's a few minutes of deep breathing, a gentle stretch, or a quiet moment with your thoughts. Over time, your body will learn to recognize these cues and transition into sleep more naturally. I assure you, after years of wandering through restless nights, the peace that comes with a good routine is something you won't want to give up. And finally, create an environment that supports your sleep. Declutter your bedroom, invest in a comfortable mattress if you can, and adjust the room's temperature to your liking. Little things like a good set of curtains to block out the early morning light or a white noise machine to drown out intrusive sounds can make a big difference. It's all about creating a space that feels safe and serene, a haven where your body knows it can relax and repair. As we near the end of our conversation tonight, I want you to take these thoughts to heart. The habits we form at bedtime aren't just routines, they're the building blocks of our health in later life. They remind us that even as we get older, every decision matters, every small act of care counts, and every night's sleep is a step towards a healthier, happier tomorrow. I encourage you to reflect on your current habits and see if there are any changes you can make that might improve your quality of sleep. It might be a gradual process, but the rewards, a clear mind, a rested body, and a spirit ready to embrace the day, are well worth the effort. In conclusion, while the story of the man who died in his sleep is a sobering one, it serves as a powerful lesson. It tells us that even in our quietest moments, our bodies speak a language we must learn to understand. By avoiding these 4 harmful bedtime habits, the lure of screens, heavy meals close to bedtime, the absence of a routine, and neglecting our sleep environment, we can honor the wisdom our bodies have acquired over the years and ensure that the twilight of our life is filled with the gentle, restorative sleep we so deeply need. Thank you for taking the time to listen to these reflections and practical suggestions. May these insights serve as a guide, helping you carve out a peaceful and healthful path through the later chapters of your life. And remember, it's never too late to start making small changes that can lead to big improvements. Rest well, and cherish each night as a precious opportunity for renewal. This has been our conversation tonight on bedtime habits to avoid after 70. I hope you found the insights shared here both helpful and comforting. May you find solace in a gentle, uninterrupted sleep and wake up each day ready to embrace the wonders that life still holds for you. Until next time, take good care of yourself, honor your body, and remember that every night is a promise of a new beginning.